I came across one of these tweets from a guy named Learning the Law, and it was so freaking funny. And it's currently trending in the Assassin's Creed community, where you can see an AI-generated image of an Assassin's Creed character on a wheelchair, and he quotes it as Ubisoft games in 2030. Now, honestly, for those of you guys who don't know what's going on with Ubisoft, they just decided to add this crippled character in Rainbow Six Siege as one of the operators that you can play as. And he's going to be a protagonist of a first-person shooter operator. Now, I think a lot of people have gone completely nuts after they've seen this stuff. Whatever Ubisoft is doing, they're clearly promoting some sort of a DEI agenda. Now, keeping this in mind, just imagine we get an Assassin's Creed game where the main protagonist is a cripple and he needs to use like the wheelchair, and they kind of just come up with some sort of explanation. And they might decide to make the modern character as a character with no legs, and then he sleeps in the enemies, and then he wakes up as an assassin with no legs. You never know. Crazy stuff Ubisoft always seems to be making. And we've actually got some pretty hilarious comments. And one of the comments here says that this is Assassin's Creed Handicapable, where this is like the parody line from Ubisoft. We really wanted to give the authentic feeling. So you'll be in wheelchair built by the Wright brothers. You won't be able to parkour your way through the city, but you'll have a grappling hook and a Gatling gun you can fire from your chair. Now, honestly, man, people are trolling Ubisoft all the way at this point after what they've done with Rainbow Six Siege. And I just think it's very, very funny at this point that they decided to, go ahead and add this stuff. Now, one of the biggest reasons as to why Ubisoft is going all the way downfall is because of all the stuff they're supporting. And it seems like fans are finally standing up to this stuff, and they're like done with all of these DEI crap. And they've now said that we're not going to be buying any of the future games from Ubisoft. And I've been seeing plenty of comments in my latest videos. I know some of us, we are still going to be buying those games because, of course, we're Assassin's Creed fans. I'm going to be doing it because I'm going to be making content or whatsoever. But as gamers, it seems like this is the very first time when gamers have decided that they're not going to be supporting their games any further. And they've decided not to pre-order the games or not to purchase their games anymore, or not to even play any of those games that have already released. And one of the results that we just come across here is that comparing the net worth of Ubisoft back in 2000, when they used to release all of the best games like Prince of Persia, and they also had this Prince of Persia assassin concept, which then turned out to be an entire game called Assassin's Creed, all the way in 2007. And now what's interesting is that the stock price, like the entire value of the company, the entire net worth of Ubisoft has gone down 20% less from the year 2000. Now, eventually, what is supposed to happen after 24 years is that obviously the company is expected to grow and achieve new success, and apparently the company is going to be expecting a net worth to be massively grown. But in this case, it just seems as though Ubisoft is going all the way downhill. Now, if you take a look at the stock charts here, it seems like there is a huge spike in the year 2018, and then the next spike was in 2021, which was when Assassin's Creed Valhalla was released. And also, as we know, Vikings final season, the season 7, it was released at the same time, which kind of just, boosted the sales of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Because a lot of fans who already watched the Vikings TV show, they were kind of like very excited that there is an actual Viking game that's coming out, and it's an Assassin's Creed game from a big franchise. So of course, why not just go ahead and get excited? So that's one of the reasons as to why we have like a huge spike in the graph here in terms of the net worth. The 2018 was the time when they released Assassin's Creed Origins. And I've got to say, man, Origins and Valhalla, these are both games that kind of just did exceptionally good in terms of Ubisoft records. And I think Ubisoft should have stuck with that. But yeah, right now when Assassin's Creed Shadows is coming out, and it's supposed to be one of the most ambitious Assassin's Creed games that Ubisoft has ever made, and this game has been in development since 2020, which means that it's been more than 4 years since the game has already been in development. So that's a long freaking time for Assassin's Creed games, because usually Ubisoft doesn't take so long in terms of releasing their Assassin's Creed games. So this, of course, means that the game is not only going to look good, it's also going to play good. The gameplay and all the mechanism, everything is going to be fine. But the controversy kind of just put down Ubisoft so low at this point that the company is really really suffering. But then they haven't really released any sort of information about how many pre-order copies that they've sold. But the reason why Ubisoft just came out and apologized in the public kind of just makes me seem that the pre-order sales for Assassin's Creed Shadows has been really low. That's just my guess. I don't know the exact numbers because they haven't revealed yet. As far as what you can see from the stock list here, from the net worth of the company, Ubisoft is doing pretty bad at this point. And who knows, maybe Sony might come in or Microsoft might come in. They might end up completely buying Ubisoft. This could be a possible thing if the net worth of the company is going this freaking low. Now, apart from this, it seems like Ubisoft has also gone downhill with Skull and Bones. Currently, there are only 47 players that are playing Skull and Bones, and the game just released in August of 22nd. And the game just got released, and it's only been 3 days from the launch of the game. And the total amount of players that are currently playing Skull and Bones right now is 47 players. That's like one of the worst results that I've ever seen. And if you think that Concord did bad, which had like 600 players and a lot of people are mocking about that game, I think, Skull and Bones has just reached all-time low, and this is probably going to be affecting Ubisoft way more than what they've expected. 47 players, I don't think anybody's going to be interested to, possibly just jump into the game, waste their time, because it's an open world, kind of an MMO RPG game. So obviously, if there are no players to play with, who are you going to be playing the game with? There's no online players, so it's obviously going to suck that you just have to play the game all alone. And 47 players around the world, this means that, you probably are not going to get match made. And any lobby that you get into, there's probably going to be 1 or 2 players out of that 47 players. And if you think that's actually going to work out for Ubisoft, I think they need to retake and what they've done wrong so far. And I think gaming community has once again proven after Black Myth Wukong's success that, no matter what reviews are out there, any review outlet, no matter how they try to punish the developers and the publishers, I think gamers are now finally taking stand, and that's one of the best things that I've seen so far. Black Myth Wukong has sold over 10 million copies within 3 days of its launch, and that's just insane. It's been world record breaking. You'll actually see the latest report 3 days ago. The current player count of Black Myth Wukong is over 2.2 million players, man. That's insane. And that's before counting the gamers buying and playing it on the PlayStation 5 console. So this is just for the PC version, like 2.2 million players on the PC version within 3 days of launch. That is just some outrageous numbers. And I think Ubisoft, all the upcoming companies or publishers, whoever you guys are, you need to learn from all the things that is successful with some of these Asian developers that seem to be finally understanding what players want. And it just seems like all the Asian games that's coming up in the future, they kind of just get this spark of what exactly players want. And the Western media always fallen. The West is already fallen. So it kind of just makes sense that there is no culture left anymore in the West. And that kind of just resonates as to how gaming is taking place these days. And it just seems like very, very sad story. And I hope Ubisoft recognizes this. And whatever happened with Assassin's Creed Shadows, of course, we can't change it anymore. It is what it is. And I don't think there's going to be any sort of changes coming to that game either ways. Now, I don't know how many of you guys have seen this. I've kind of just posted like a full-on clip of gameplay that was shown by Ubisoft recently for Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I haven't really gone deep into the details as to what are available in this new gameplay footage. Now, as you can see, there are some pretty good details that's available. Hold on, my own self out there. This is basically what the final build is gonna look like. Like the graphics, you can immediately say that it's way better than what we have already seen with the last gameplay reveal that they just showed off. And all of these roofs are gonna be like completely breakable is what I've seen. And it's pretty good. And honestly, I don't know, for whatever reason, they say that Naowei is part of the assassins, but then she doesn't have her finger cut in this game. But then in all the other Assassin's Creed games, if you join the Brotherhood, you're supposed to like cut the finger off. I don't know why there is still a finger left. So that's kind of a thing that we need to just hold back and wait and see what happens with the whole franchise, I guess, like the main storyline. The blue sky is exactly what makes, the game very Japanese-like. I don't know how many of you guys have noticed this. Usually when it comes to Japanese games, you have like these pink trees, like pink flowers on the trees, and then you have like blue sky, and everything just looks so vibrant and colorful. That's something that just gives me good vibes in my opinion. And then you have like this forest scene where you have like campfire. I don't know, probably it's like a resting thing. Just take a look at this roof scene over here, man. Like you can actually go prone on the roof and you can scout all over. This is actually crazy. Now what makes me wonder is that why is she going prone rather than just crouching on the roof, right? Most probably it's because the AI are way more advanced in this game, and it seems like if you go crouching, they could probably either detect you or it's gonna cause a lot of sound. And I also heard that Ubisoft said that, you know, all of these ice tentacles that have just formed over here, if you walk on the roof, it's basically gonna fall off. So once it falls off, these enemies are gonna be looking up on the roof to see if anyone's on the roof. So it kind of just makes sense as to why you probably need to go full on prone on the floor, and that's probably how you're going to be scouting around. And that's really cool, man, honestly. Now, this kind of just shows us a backstory, and I don't know, whatever reason they said that the engine was like completely different, but then it seems like the engine pretty much just looks the same, honestly. Look at it. It kind of just has that Assassin's Creed Valhalla graphics, but then the character models and everything, it kind of is more detailed this time. I would have rather preferred more colorful than just green, because it's Japan and whatsoever, you know. And when it comes to these parkour animations, I honestly think that Ubisoft should have added in more stuff. It just feels like, you know, it's a gimmick, man. For some reason, I just feel like it's a gimmick, you know. Like, as you can see, these are all just, you know, some of the animations, the few animations. Like just front flip, the same stuff, and then she's again going to perform the front flip. It's pretty much, and then a black flip, and that's pretty much it. That's the only thing that they've been showing so far when it comes to parkouring. It seems like they've just added in this complete prone movement, and then front flip, back flip, and then you have like the exit from wall, like jump off from the wall using a back flip. And these are the 3 animations that is newly been added. And apart from that, everything just seems pretty much the same. But this thing is actually cool. You can just go all the way prone. That just looks so freaking cool. Just look at this. Wow. Probably it's gonna cause a lot of sound when you're crouching and stuff like that. This actually looks pretty cool. And one thing it kind of just, you know, ticked me off is that the shadows, you know, it doesn't matter. Like you can literally see each other right here, right? Like even this dude is in the shadows. It's not like you can't see him. And obviously he can see you as well, but the game mechanics, it's just kind of a bit unrealistic. Could have been better, in my opinion. Could have easily been better. And then you have like a couple of these armors. I wonder if you can like go ahead and collect these armors. I hope the game has like a whole inventory system where all of your armor sets are like displayed like this inside your house. Like the game says that you have a settlement or whatsoever, rather than just giving us like a whole menu system. I wish Ubisoft just added in all of these physical look at the armor, so that you can just go there, stand and look at the armor, each and every armor set that you want to wear, and all the outfits are going to be present in your entire wardrobe. If that is something that Ubisoft could add, you know, it would be cool. And obviously there are going to be like so many different outfits and all that stuff, so most probably you could just highlight all the outfits that you kind of just want to showcase, and then there could also be like an entire menu screen. But if they could pull this off, man, that would actually look pretty cool in order to upgrade your settlement and all that stuff. because you have a settlement in this game, and that would be a really cool feature. Swinging and a lot of stuff. It's actually pretty darn good. Another thing that I actually noticed when it comes to Yasuke's gameplay is that when you're playing as Yasuke, there is like this feature pretty much similar to Red Dead Redemption, where you can just go to this Deadeye mode and then mark a couple of enemies and then slash through, and he's basically going to perform this animation. It's kind of like the chain kill that we saw in Assassin's Creed Mirage, but then it's more of an animation thing in this one rather than just teleporting. So kind of just looks cool. And then the parkour with the Yasuke, it's kind of funny, but then it makes sense a lot that he is not able to do it. So obviously I kind of just feel like, you know, Yasuke is going to be a character that pretty much nobody is going to be wanting to play as, unless you want to have like a really badass character that basically does more damage, and that's basically what Yasuke is all about. But apart from this, man, it seems like Assassin's Creed Shadows dev team have been stating that they've been doing in long time development cycle cycle for this game, and it seems like that's just going to make the game look so much better and whatnot. So it kind of just makes sense, since 4 years is a long time, and average development for Assassin's Creed has always been like 2 years at max. I think Assassin's Creed Valhalla took like 2.5 years. There was a lot of post-launch content that came out for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I really hope to see a lot more with Assassin's Creed Shadows, and this time hopefully it's some good quality content rather than just adding in a bunch of content that, you know, players are not really going to be interested in, and all of these different seasonal stuff. I really hope they kind of add in more meaningful content which could actually give players more enjoyment in order to, you know, play the game. But yeah, one thing I really hated about Assassin's Creed Valhalla is that you kind of just go to this other realm, and I'm not a very huge fan when it comes to, you know, mythological games. I want it to be as realistic as possible, and that kind of just disappointed me with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, because we were playing as Odin and Loki and whatnot, all that bullshit stuff. So it was something that I was not really interested in. But the main story, playing as a Viking, the real history, it kind of made sense. You know, I had fun playing it. It was fun while it lasted. But once we got the DLC, and once we head over to Valhalla and Nilfheim and Valheim and whatever bullshit places those were in the Norse mythology, I kind of just lost my interest in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I really hope that's not the case here with Assassin's Creed Shadows. Since this game doesn't take place in no sort of mythology or no gods or whatever stuff, it kind of makes sense that, you know, we're most probably not going to go for that. But you never know Ubisoft, man. They could just add in some of the Dragon King, Dragon Queen, or Dragon God, Buddha, and all that stuff, you know. Just, we might even go ahead and fight Monkey King from Black Myth Wukong, who knows. All this stuff is of course possible because Ubisoft just loves diversity, and they would just go on with anything they possibly could. So let me know down below in the comments, what do you guys think about whatever is going on? Would you like an Assassin's Creed game where the character is in wheelchairs? Let me know in the comments. That would be a very interesting comment or topic to go ahead and discuss down below. And yeah, with that being said, if you guys want to stay updated with whatever is going on in the gaming community, this channel is basically going to provide you all the latest information, updates, and every single thing. If we could just be best friends, go ahead, subscribe, and leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy this video, drop a like down below, and we'll get a good Assassin's Creed if you do. So yeah, with that being said, hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day, and I'll see you guys on tomorrow's video. Until then, take it easy, fams, and goodbye.